Okay, welcome back to Cloud Sport Road to Vegas in Berlin. We just had a little bit of a technical issue there. Of course, we are sponsored by Playseat and powered by Formula E. So we're just waiting for the. I think the cars are on track for the warm-up session now. I'm not quite sure after that interruption. Or they're out or they're just about to go out, so we haven't missed anything too important. And grid decided for the race. I'm not sure if everyone got it, so I'll just go over very quick with the grid. Enzo Benito's on pole, Patrick Holtzman second, Daniel Kiss third, Jesus Cecilia fourth, Douglas Hawkins fifth, Ricky Wilson sixth, Walter Woodruff seventh, Lucas Mollman eighth, Mark Behrens ninth, Lorenzo Lasciti 10th, Diego Jimenez 11th, and Jonathan Main at the back. Yeah, it should be interesting. I wonder if Holtzman can do any better in the race than he did in qualifying. Good to see Jesus Cecilia midway through the session get his act together, get into that top 5. Daniel Kiss, of course, and Cecilia, who both didn't do particularly well in Paris in their semi-finals. They didn't get to the final, and they lost a lot of potential points when begging there. So I'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, anything you're looking forward to, Jack?
I'm just looking forward to the race in general. I did just see a car that had just stopped on the track. I'm not sure who that was. However, he's got going now. I think he was just practicing a race.
What colour was the car?
It's the one that we're seeing on screen right now.
Oh, that must be Benito. Okay, well, it's either Benito or I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's Benito.
That's Benito. So it's Benito's effective teammate.
Very similar. I'm not sure. Are there any other red line guys in this session? I don't think so. Yeah, I know Petrolson's at Apex Racing, so unless some of the others, there are some secret red line members who just use the same skin, then I'm not so sure. Lorenzo Lasciti actually setting the first lap in this, a 55.7. Not an amazing lap, but
that's surely going to be beaten, and it has just been by Ricky Wilson, who does a 55.2. We were seeing in qualifying a couple of minutes ago that they were getting down to the mid 43, so
it could be that they're going a bit slower now,
so
though, because they're thinking about the race.
Faster.
This is almost like a race in the session, it just helps them get into the groove a little bit. And you might say, oh, it would be a bit more fun if we just see bits of wing lying around, so someone's had an incident. Yeah, I think that's Cecilia. He's just re-emerged from the pits. But yeah, I think Ricky Wilson, who of course starts just in 6th, I think. Yeah, he was going to have a bit of a tough time, I think, making his way into the top 5 unless something happens ahead of him. He's going to need to maybe try and do something at the first corner. We saw he's trying that in the semi-final, trying to go very wide around the outside at the tight hairpin. It didn't quite work. Yeah, and with those Mollman just giving a little demonstration of that. Well, no, actually, I think that was on the racing line. Sorry, I was a bit harsh there. So anyway, I think one of the things I mentioned in the last time out was one of the big news that we've seen from our point of view, at least relative to Formula E, is that Graham Carroll, who won the last semi-final, got a run in the real-life Formula E car, and he said it was. I think he described it as being like Christmas Day, as we see Douglas Hawkins letting the rear end step out a little bit there. That's very common, easy way to get through the hairpin quite quickly with a bit of oversteer. But it's also quite dangerous because it means you can easily lose control elsewhere on the lap. But yeah, Graham Carroll getting his run in the Formula car, well deserved, I think. He's a very accomplished real-life racer as well. Won the Walter Hayes Trophy at Silverstone last year in the Formula Ford 1600s. And
I think it's cracking, to be honest. I mean, like, Formula E is all about getting the fans involved, and this is this is a brilliant way to get the fans involved. Also, for there to be like a prize of 1 million for this to go up ahead against all the Formula E races is just amazing. And yeah, to let them have a go in a Formula E car, as we've just seen a car off.
Yeah, I've seen a car disqualified on the timing screens. It's Enzo Benito.
It's Enzo.
Well. Yeah, what's he?
Our pole sitter has been disqualified.
Yeah, well, has he been disqualified just from the warm-up though, just for messing around and stuff, or is he going to be? Is that going to affect his group position as well? I sincerely hope not, as we see all the.
If it is,
yeah, I suspect there was must have been a multiple incident there, and Enzo Benito must have been judged.
If it is, we have a race on our hands. To be honest, to
That'd be
see him
interesting.
fighting through the pack will be phenomenal. Like
I wouldn't wish
Lucas
that on the guy.
Degrassi
And you
the
can
other
see,
week.
look, the big walls that we saw in qualifying have been taken away. So yes, it is consistent across each semi-final, which is good to see, as we see. Yeah. And I'm wondering, Jack, because you watch the Formula E broadcast, don't you? And you've seen the e-races that they do on the kind of sort of run, I think, some of them on site at the Formula E events, and one where they get the real drivers in, they let a fan who set the fastest lap do, and it's sort of a 5-lap sprint kind of thing. I was wondering what you thought about that. I sort of feel that they're a bit chaotic. I think I sort of, on balance, prefer these races, but I can see the appeal there. They are just a bit of fun.
Well, to be honest, these ones are certainly less chaotic. I mean, that's a given, because I in those races, I think the first one that we saw in the first one that we saw in Mexico last year, I remember that. I think
several cars went through each other.
It was Jean-Eric Verne who
went over the barrier into the trees.
Catapulted over the barrier and did
that
many
would be nearly
rolls
fatal if that happened in real life. So I'm glad
it would be for sure. So yeah, I think these ones are more serious, and then the ones at the track are more.
Yeah, I wonder if the Formula E drivers will take it seriously, even with like all that money on the line, because we've seen in the e-races only a couple ever.
Because
I really do as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it would just be a bit of a joke if they're all deliberately trying to crash into each other. Like, deliberately not great for corners.
That's a huge.
I think it would be
that's a huge amount of money to give away. I mean,
it's not being given away.
I would have no idea. Well, yeah. But still, that's a huge amount of money. I wouldn't know what to do with £1 million. It's $1 million.
You could put it towards your
education. I'm sure Donald Trump would, because his father gave him a small loan.
Let's not get political here.
Yeah. Moving on, but yeah.
I mean, we're in
one
Berlin.
followed
this
by
is where,
6 zeros is phenomenal.
We're in Berlin here. This is where the 27 years ago this month the Berlin Wall was knocked down, and now it seems walls are back in style, of course, with Mr. Trump. But let's not talk too much about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to link it in so it didn't sound like you pulled that out of nowhere. So it's not just the money that's the link.
Well, I pulled it in because you said my father gave me a small loan of $1 million. Yeah. That's where I pulled it in from.
Fair enough. So yeah, we've not heard any word about Enzo's disqualification, so I presume it's inconsequential. And
we'll get Nikki in the pits down.
Okay. Yeah. Virtual Nikki. Yeah, she's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I really, like we were saying, I really do hope that the drivers take it seriously, especially.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any substance to the rumor, but Mahindra is saying on Twitter that they're thinking of almost adopting one of the finalists as their third driver, essentially. And I'm not sure because they've already got existing existing teams that they will drive for, like Apex Racing or Team Redline, which of course is the team that Enzo Benito drives for. And I do wonder if any allegiances are going to be tested in the final, so that like they all like, so let's say all the Redline guys will work together so that they all make the final, and then once they get there they'll turn on each other.
Yeah,
that seems to be
possibly.
The consensus, as we see quite a lot of guys going into the pits. Cesar Cecilia and Ricky Wilson seem to be the only guys on track now. Of course, the consequence of Benito being disqualified is that
Cecilia's pits.
Yeah, so just Ricky now on his own.
I believe that means that we should be getting closer to the start of the race.
Absolutely, yes, and we see everyone going in, and it's sunny now, so that means it's time to start.
And actually, we can see on the graphics on screen, Enzo Benito is on pole. However, next to him, it still says disqualified.
Well, that's because that's just where he was in the pit. And it still says Ricky Wilson on lap 8, which is obviously the number of laps he did in the warm-up. So let's just wait for the timing screens to sort themselves out before we make any rash judgments. It's so easy to get it wrong, as we all know. But Ricky Wilson will be starting 6th anyway, so this is inaccurate. Really good track at Berlin. Let's talk about the good places to overtake here. So it's effectively turn 1 from the starting grid. We see them going on the warm-up lap now, and Benito leading the field. So he has kept his pole position and the disqualification in warm-up. was just that. It was just a slap on the wrist, naughty boy. Now carry on. And yeah, so the hairpin, very good place to take. Remember Robin Friends in real life locking the brakes and sort of making a really good move on. I think it was one of the Dragon cars, Duval, the Le Mans winner. And yes, the hairpin seems to be the obvious place to overtake, but there is another place, and that would be in turn 5, where we saw Sebastian Buemi take John-Eric Vergne for the lead, a lead that Buemi never lost in the rest of the race.
What a superb move that was.
It was.
Though,
It was so
honest.
close to the wall, you could see trying to squeeze him. I'd be
It
extremely
was
surprised to see
perfect.
these guys pull that off, but you never know. I've been surprised before, so we'll have to see. And yeah, well, so much of this is going to be dependent on the start, I think, as we see Benito getting ready to go into his group position. He's going to have to wait. He's been quite quick on this one, though. He's going to have to wait quite a while for the rest of the field to form up. If you'd like to take the start, Jack.
I would love to.
Go ahead.
Right then, so we do see all of them lining up. We can see 11th place Jonathan Main weaving around quite. Oh, sorry, was that Ricky Wilson right at the back of the grid?
Yeah, why is Ricky Wilson at the back?
Oh, yeah.
Don't
know. Either way, when the 5 lights go out, we will be racing in Berlin. We are underway, and it's Benito who has got away rather well from Holzman. Kiss is trying to go around the outside of Holzman, go down. So there's contact right in the middle. I think that was 4th.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and he's round.
Yes.
That is 4th place was. I think that's Cecilia. I think that
was Walter Wedgworth? I think.
That might have been Wedgworth. I don't know.
Yes, it is Wedgworth. Yes, because he's in the green car.
They're all falling down the order. Lorenzo Lucidi is up into 6th place. A hectic start there.
Yes, Jesus Silla didn't get the best start, but he stayed out of trouble there in the baby blue car. And yes, and that means he's managed to stay in the top 5, despite not having the best start, of course. But Benito still leads from about 7 tenths ahead of Holtzman, so he's starting to break away already. And yeah, I realised why now Ricky Wilson started at the back. It was because of, I alluded to earlier with his sort of bad boy status, but because of the group penalties he copped from collisions in the previous semi-finals and stuff. But he's served it now, and now he can continue on with his race. He's down in 10th place, so he profited from that collision. I believe it was Jonathan Main was the other car involved there with Walter Wedgworth. As we see Cecilia lining up Molman ahead of him. Molman has made a great start here to get into the top 5. So can he stay there? So we see Jimenez and Hawkins further back, squabbling for position and swapping it a little bit. But Cecilia looks like is he going to do the Buemi move?
Oh
no, I don't think.
He's starting to lose time coming down to turn.
Yeah, he's not got enough momentum. Yeah, so Cecilia will have to be content to stay in 5th for now, but he can't feel comfortable there. He's got Lorenzo breathing down his neck. Well, okay, not quite breathing down his neck, but he's still there. Not too far behind, looking to take advantage of a mistake. Cecilia going very aggressive on Molman, who we've not seen Molman this high up in a semi-final before, and this is really his golden opportunity to get into that final tomorrow, score some points, and maybe give himself a fighting chance of getting to Vegas. But of course, still 46 laps to go in this race. Anything could happen. Oh, there's someone running around without a front wing, I believe.
I think that was Wedgworth who got.
No. I think that must be Ricky Wilson. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Because I definitely saw a car's front wing off before he even made it down to turn 1.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think some of the more inexperienced drivers are not really quite sure. Oh, Cecilia has passed Molman further back. I hope maybe we'll get a replay of that if there's time. But yeah, Cecilia up to 4th now, and Molman, I think, didn't really quite have the pace of Jesus Cecilia. Oh, Cecilia getting well over the curbs there at turn 9, but yeah, just getting away with that. And Lucidi is right behind him now, so I wonder if Lorenzo can see an opportunity to get into that top 8. This is on board with Cecilia. So Cecilia has made a slow start, and now we've just cut forward a bit. Okay.
Just cut forward. Okay.
I think someone's trying to find the move that Cecilia did, so hopefully we'll get back on that.
Okay. Yeah. But definitely at the start, I think it was the person who started P4. I can't remember who that is now because my memory is absolutely appalling.
Yeah. Oh, we have a drive-through penalty, by the way. Douglas Hawkins, sadly,
oh dear.
he has a drive-through penalty for contact on lap 1. So it must have been Hawkins who was
Yeah,
deemed
Hawkins must
responsible
have
for
been
spinning around
involved
Wedgeworth, I
with.
think.
Yeah,
That's my
I
understanding of it
think
anyway.
Wedgeworth was the one without the front wing.
Wedgeworth is still going in 11th place. He's 3/10 behind Diego Jimenez and 4 seconds ahead of Jonathan Main. Johnny Main, just like I said, still getting used to it all. We're looking at Cecilia now, going into the hairpin. In 4th place, starting to pull away from Moleman, which is exactly what he needs. And maybe Cecilia can catch up to Daniel Kiss, Holtzman, and Benito. It's starting to even gaps at the front, so Benito now 2 seconds ahead of Patrick Holtzman. As you see Wedgeworth and Jimenez still battling for position, battling for 10th. Wedgeworth has gotten through now, I think. So, yeah.
Oh, hang on, Wedgeworth has got back in front of Jimenez. I think that's going to be one that's going to.
There's Douglas
go
Hawkins.
Hawkins
without
was
his front
the
wing,
one
so,
who
yeah,
I think
so,
spun then.
Yeah, it was spun the other guy, yeah. So, he spun Wedgeworth, I believe. So Hawkins going to have to serve the ignominy of a drive. It's just like, yeah, because of course he is a.
He lost his front wing before they even made it down to turn 1. I noticed that for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly how that happened.
Here's a replay. I think this was Cecilia on the inside of Moleman.
No, this is someone slowing down, and this is. It looks like he was almost letting him through there. Is that? That doesn't look like Cecilia, because Cecilia was the light blue car. Hawkins serves his drive-through.
Is it for a drive-through, or will he change his front wing? Okay.
And he'll probably want to change his front wing if he can. Yeah, yeah. Well, may as well 2 birds with 1 stone, I guess.
Well, I don't think you can actually serve a penalty.
Oh, he's going to have to do another extra lap, as we see Lorenzo really on fire right now. He's coasted up to back a moment, tapped the wall a bit there, but.
We saw Heidfeld do that in the real life. I think
I think more consequential for Heidfeld than for Lorenzo here. I don't want to sound too unbiased here, but I really like to see Lorenzo get past Moleman. But I know Moleman is fighting for his own race as well. Really, Moleman actually did a really good job at the start. So let's see what happens here. And but yeah, really controversial sort of lower down rather than at the front. Benito untroubled, pulling out nearly over 2 seconds, I think, over Patrick Holtzman. And yeah, so I wonder if Benito can beat Graham Carroll's race time. I've not seen what Graham Carroll's total race time was yet, but I believe someone stopped in the runoff area.
I think that is Douglas Hawkins.
Yes, Douglas Hawkins has stopped on lap 6. So
he has stopped.
Yes, that's
I think that is race over for him.
Or it could be
progressing to the final.
Well, let's look on the bright side. He could just be. As we see Lorenzo, there wasn't really a move on there. I think he lost time going for that one, the city. But keep going. But I think what happened to Dougie Hawkins was that he just. What could have happened is that he was trying to let people through, but he's now a lap down. Although, paradoxically, he just set his best first sector on that lap. Although, has he got going again? I'm not sure.
I believe he's got going because he's just had a 50.9 in the middle sector, which
seems he must have got going.
Correct.
Although, let's see if he sets sector 3. But he's coming back into the pits, so
hopefully
this is hopefully to replace that front wing.
Because we'll come down here. Yeah,
this is the big fight now. Lorenzo is caught right back up to Moleman again. So can Lucas hold him off?
And also Ricky Wilson isn't that far behind either. He's about a second behind, and remember he qualified 6th ahead of these two, so he would like a position.
Yes, but remember Ricky Wilson's famous for causing incidents in Paris and sort of crashing out of the final in Long Beach. Are we going to get the reformed Ricky Wilson, or are you going to get the bad Ricky Wilson? Let's see. Well, not the bad, just the slightly clumsy one with the connection didn't quite work out. The one that made
the marching
got in trouble.
Version.
Yeah, I think so far we seem to be getting the more cautious one, the one that seems to stay out of trouble. He's a second behind Lorenzo at the moment. Lorenzo keeping to half a second behind. Now, one thing Lorenzo could try, if he cannot cast him on track, is to maybe undercut Moleman in the pits. Bit early to do it right now, of course.
Yes, it is. It is quite.
Yeah, you want to wait until at least sort of lap 17 or so.
Yeah. Anything from I'd say about between 20 to 30, I think, would be a decent undercut.
Benito has so far set the fastest lap, 53.814 on lap 4, and yeah, he's kept the lead, and not much to talk about up there, to be honest. Kiss a second behind. I believe Kiss is no 3 seconds. He's quite a wave actually behind Holtzman, and Cecilia in turn 6 seconds behind Kiss. So yeah, the gaps at the front definitely opening up. And Molman, the biggest gap of all, about 11. Well, not the biggest gap, I think further down, but one of the bigger gaps in the middle of the pack. He's 10 seconds behind Cecilia. So if Lorenzo can get by, that's a big piece of track to set some hot laps in.
Lorenzo's going to the outside. I'm not sure whether this is really
Oh,
delayed,
yeah,
but
this is...
he's going to the outside. He wasn't able to make the move going into turn 4. However, he's chasing him down. It's gonna be a long race battle between these two.
Yeah, here we go. Right aboard the front wing is right over the curbs.
I love this shot.
Yeah, me too. Yes, it's brilliant. You can actually see the TV tower in Berlin in the background there.
Yeah,
which is
and that's great
landmark.
Just to see that. That's great just to
you
even
don't get
see
that
in the virtual world.
Oh yeah,
even in the virtual world.
You know where you are, don't you? On the way you're supposed to be. let's not get confused here. Yeah, Lorenzo, is it just me? Is he starting to lose touch a bit, or maybe he's just backing off? Over the curbs. I don't think.
Oh, hang on. I think he's very good through the chicane, and that gives him the run up turn 4. He's going to dive down the inside. Is he not? No.
Oh.
I made a crofty. I did a crofty.
Don't worry. We all do that sometimes.
Yeah. Saying that he's going to make a move from 500 years back.
Yeah. I think that is definitely where he seems to be setting Molman up for the move, but every lap he gets stuck behind. He locks up, and Wilson really challenging now. So yeah, I think is Lorenzo lost his chance maybe to get past Molman. He's more defending from Ricky Wilson now, and we all know Ricky Wilson is not a man you want to fight too hard with sometimes. Yeah, but Ricky Wilson definitely giving space here and being a bit more circumspect than normal. So hopefully Ricky can judge this right and get the best result possible for himself. But let's see what happens ahead. Lorenzo gets another good run through the chicane. That's definitely his strong part.
I think that's his strongest point, going through the chicane, and I think if he can get properly close enough coming out of the chicane, he will be able to make a move down into turn 4 a la Bohemi.
Yeah, I think Lorenzo has seen that, and he's thinking of that right now, and just sort of thinking, I need to get down the inside of Molman, just like Bohemi, and you know, if I could, I just need a slightly better run. And you notice the rest of the circuit a little bit scruffy actually, was sort of in the turn 9 there, so making slight contact, and that gives Ricky Wilson a little bit of a chance, but not quite close enough. Of course, you need to really get a wheel alongside to have and Benito actually. He's lost a bit of time actually because Holtzman has closed.
He's lost about half his time. It was about 3 seconds. It was about 2 or 3 seconds, line, and it's now down to 1.7. So
yeah, is this going to be a chance? I think he must have made a
mistake. He must have made a mistake, maybe coming through the chicane. I would have
thought. Yeah, I hope he
or maybe he went
too
deep on the
pace
brakes.
Seems to have continued. He seems to be doing okay. He's pulled out another 10th on Holtzman, but yeah, both of them seem to have dropped Daniel Kiss a little bit. But yeah, Holtzman, of course, he's driving at home. Do you think there's a bit of extra home pressure on Holtzman to get by Benito?
Yeah, very much like Daniel Apt this year.
Of course. Is this Lorenzo? Yeah. Oh, is Lorenzo? There's a bit of a train forming here.
Yes, there is. This is
that a back marker?
This is the closest one on track. That is a back marker. That is Jonathan.
Oh, look at this.
No,
this is interesting.
That might be Douglas Hawkins. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it almost certainly is Hawkins actually, because he's by far the furthest down the field. Jonathan Main only still on the he's still roughly 14 seconds behind Diego Jimenez.
Oh, hang on, Lorenzo's close coming down.
No, he's not going to get around the outside.
No, he won't be able to do it around the outside. No, he's half spun it through the corner.
That's really held up Ricky Wilson there, as we see. On the time screen, briefly showed in the head.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not sure why Lorenzo went for that one there. Oh, I think maybe he was just trying to make something happen, because it's so hard to overtake unless you've judged it perfectly. And I think Molman is.
He needs to have the inside going into that corner. However, Molman will know that now, and he will continue to defend down on the inside.
Yes. Great defensive driving actually by Molman there. I wonder how long he can keep this up, because I think Lorenzo, if he could just sneak through, he'd be able to use better pace in that yellow car. But the fact that Ricky Wilson's there adds an extra dimension to this bout. And is Mark Behrens that far behind either? He's only about 4 seconds down on Ricky Wilson. So I don't think this is quite as strong a track as we've seen. Mark Berens actually a bit stronger in Paris, as we see Lucidi just getting tucked up in the gearbox of Molman.
I'd just like to point out Holzman is closing at the timing line. It was 0.7 of a second to Benito.
Lorenzo getting a bit out of shape there, but he is
back with Holzman. This is
so Patrick is
he wants to win his home race.
Yeah, so this is a really strong performance by Holzman. Even if he cannot get by Benito, I suspect, as you know, we're closing in on the pit stops as well, of course. Don't forget that. But I suspect that Patrick will be in a better position compared to the likes of, say, Bono Hiss or whoever finishes second in the next couple of, because he's so close to the guy who is in the lead at the moment. But of course, Patrick Holzman just benefiting him a huge amount to get by. But don't want to make a marginal move unless you can pull it off. Unless of course it's for that last qualifying position, because there's no use coming sixth, because everyone who makes it through is going to go through the final. It's no good being a reserve. You want to be in there.
It was 0.9 at the line that time.
Yes, I think. Is it Benito just making one or two mistakes? As Ricky Wilson has passed Lorenzo Lucidi.
Oh, and Lorenzo's down to 8th. I think Lorenzo's had an off somewhere.
Or it could be he's damaged the suspension. Oh, and that's a real look. I think he's crapping there. He's going very slowly. Is he going to try and get into the pit lane? Yes, a lot of drivers have passed him.
No, that's just the colour of the wing. Yeah. I thought he'd lost a bit of his front wing.
It could be that he's either spun or hurt the suspension. I think his pace doesn't look that good at the moment. Let's see. This is Ricky Wilson.
He's a replay of
Is this Wilson? I believe it's Wilson. Wilson's in the white car, but where's Lorenzo then? Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure exactly why we're looking at this white car going on.
Professional.
Oh, there we saw a little bit of what happened there, and Lorenzo locking the brakes. Something is very wrong with that car, I think.
Yeah. It is lap 17, and I do remember a couple of laps ago that you said that could come in and try and get the undercut.
It could,
but that would mean that he'll have to save all the way to the end of the race. Of course,
this means that Ricky Wilson is now in prime position to attack Lucas Molman for the final qualifying spot. Oh, as you see, Wedgeworth fighting with Mark Berens there, I think, just trying to go down the inside, and also had already been in a final, of course, and now he wants a proper shot at one after retiring in Paris in that final. But yeah, it was like diagonally into the wall there. I can't believe he got away with that. Oh, that might have been what happened to Lorenzo, actually.
Wedgeworth is going from wall to wall, as it looks like.
So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for not piecing together what happened to Lorenzo, but from what I gather, he was side by side with Ricky Wilson, and then I think contact was made, and Lorenzo came off worse, and he seems to have lost positions there. And he's able to keep pace with these guys, so I'm not sure if that's him doing it in spite of some damage, or if this is Lorenzo just getting back up to speed. And it's definitely going to be a difficult afternoon for him from now on, but he's got the pace, and he should be able to at least maybe force one of them into a mistake if he plays his cards right. But yeah, very interesting about his Ricky Wilson, only about half a second now behind Lucas Molman. 23-second gap from Molman in 5th to Cecilia in 4th. So yeah, as Wedgeworth takes that favourite line that's crashing into the wall. Lorenzo, is he going to make a move here at this favourite section of the track?
No, he made it. Now he's just gonna stick behind Wedgeworth for the moment. I would just like to point out that it's 0.4 between the top two right now. So it is. I did see it at 0.2 at one point. I was just looking at it. However, it's staying around half a second right now. That is very close, and hopefully we'll
Lorenzo
see
going to make a move down the inside. You don't often see it down there, but there wasn't. He just ran out. He couldn't get on the power early enough. Wedgeworth blocked the way, and but Walter is really under pressure here from Lorenzo, and this is really great racing we're seeing right now between these two, and it's helping Mark Berens, of course, another formerly Alex member, break away. So is Lorenzo playing the team game here? I wonder. Yeah, because Mark Berens is now the one in prime position to maybe make it. Jonathan Main still running, of course, the other formerly Alex member in 11th, but yes, is Lorenzo?
Is he gonna try and make it down the inside?
I think Lorenzo must have learned his lesson from coming off worse earlier on, and has just decided he's, well, I say learned his lesson, but just the other lap, the last lap, he tried to make a marginal move down down the inside of Wedgeworth, in a place he can't really overtake, and Wedgeworth is sort of now closed back up to Mark Behrens. So yeah, these three, it seems to be fluctuating a bit hard to tell who has the advantage, apart from obviously the track position. Anyway, we switch back to the leaders here. This is Holtzman, who's still right behind Benito and pressurizing him, hoping it will crack and let the German take some home glory. Put him in a
It's
great
looking
position for the...
extremely close going down the start straight. So
I have a feeling that Enzo can cover this one. Enzo, we have seen him crack before, of course, in Paris.
0.18 over.
No, not in Paris, in Long Beach, sorry, where he crashed towards the final couple of laps of the final. He had a big incident that took out White Gooden as well. As Lorenzo has got by Mark Behrens. Mark Behrens is in trouble, I think. Yeah, because he was ahead of Walter Wedgeworth. So, was that him?
Was that
He's
was
crashed
that him off
out,
there?
I think. Was he missing a wheel? I don't know, but that didn't look good. It looks like he just spun there at the very least on the. As Mark Behrens got going again, I'm worried that he hasn't. Here we go. Yes, he's defending from Wedgeworth. Oh, and he's locked the brakes. Oh, and he's been spun around there. Oh, I think Wedgeworth could be in trouble there for deliberately spinning him, but depends. Ricky Wilson has entered the pits for his stop, so I wonder if he is trying to undercut Lucas Mollman. He's not been able to get by Mollman.
Wilson
so far.
and Wedgeworth are in the pits right now.
Yeah, so hope Wedgeworth didn't take any damage. I think Mark Behrens would be very upset with Walter Wedgeworth for spinning him around there, and maybe harsh words after the race. Mark can get a bit... He's a bit of an excited guy, Mark, so I'm not sure if it sort of shows in the car or whatever, but yeah, he's a...
Sorry, just like Holtzman closing
yeah,
down.
But we're back to that lead fight, and you're right, it is incredibly absorbing as we see someone moving out of the way for them. That back marker, thankfully.
I think that was Jonathan Main.
Yeah, Johnny Main in the purple car. And if Holtzman's going to make a move, where do you think it's going to be? Because these two seem very evenly matched.
I think like the easiest opportunity would be going down into the hairpin. However, it could be somewhere else. The thing is, Holtzman is not strong coming out of the chicane, so.
Yeah, that's the. He needs to take a few tips from Lorenzo, I think.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, of course, he's in sixth right now behind Mollman, 7 seconds behind Mollman after the spin and incident earlier on. But of course, neither of them are pitted yet.
Back with Diego Jimenez in
Diego in 10th.
all the way down in 10th place.
Yeah, he is 30 seconds behind Walter Wedgeworth.
He's a lap down right now.
Douglas Hawkins, having served his drive through, has actually got by Jonathan Main now, I think. So Douglas Hawkins starting to improve his afternoon slightly. Because even if you don't get in the top 5, you still score points, remember. So Walter Wedgeworth pitting now as we see a move. This is the move between Hawkins and Main, and I think Main, Johnny, not really knowing that he doesn't really quite have the pace. That must be Johnny. Yeah, I think the purple car must be Jimenez that we were looking at. That got lapped earlier, I think.
Oh, and Holtzman's going down the inside of Bonozo, coming.
But Benito, yes, he's gotten through. Benito pitting in
got
now.
into the lead.
I think Benito bailed out of that battle. So.
Sorry.
Yeah, but still,
I was getting too excited.
I wonder how long Holtzman is going to go in. It could be that Benito's undercutting to cover him off, put the fresh tyres on his new car.
Well, we will see soon. He is still in.
He's going to come out ahead of Mollman, definitely, because there was that huge gap
Benito has left the pits now, so now we just wait for Holtzman. Now, this is going to be very crucial. They were about half a second away out on track. Now, will the undercut help Benito, or will the overcut help Holtzman? This is going to be something to look out for. I suspect
the undercut might help here because the overcut, you might have a bit more energy at the end.
Comes
but really,
Holtzman and Holman.
Yes, yeah, this is probably the right move from Holtzman. Don't speed in the pits. Yeah, get good, heavy on the brakes there. Yeah, so have to see if the stop goes smoothly.
And Daniel Kiss has taken over. No, Daniel Kiss is
Cecilia in. Because Kiss has just come in too.
Cecilia's in the lead right now.
Let's hope he doesn't do anything silly. Yeah, so Jesus
I don't
is-
think Mock the Week will hire you yet, Ed. So,
No, I don't.
yeah.
I'm not, this isn't a multi-week fishing, thankfully. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we have Benito there. Holzman's out the pits. Holzman is
I
out of
think
the pits on
he-
the timing thing. There's Benito. Benito's
yes,
actually in
so
front.
it has not worked out for Patrick Holtzman there. Should he maybe have stayed out a few laps earlier, or should he have
And now the
came
gap
in when
is
he saw
about
Benito coming
1
in?
second.
Yeah, so he's given Benito a little bit of breathing space, but I don't think it's enough for Enzo to feel comfortable just yet. As you see Lorenzo coming in now as well from 6th place. This is going to let Mark Brenz, Ricky
Here
Wilson, and
comes
Walter
Celia.
Wedgworth back through, I suspect.
Here comes Cecilia.
Oh, well, actually, has Mark pit yet? I don't think he has. Yes, this is
Lorenzo Lucidi's in as well as
yeah,
is
Lorenzo
Mark
was
Behrens.
already in. Jesus Cecilia, of course, being followed by Behrens, Mark Behrens, I think. So, yeah, Enzo will retake the lead, and he'll be back exactly where he was before these pit stops. So that's
However, despite
oh, someone
bit
is
ill.
coming out very slowly there.
Yeah.
Is that Cecilia?
I think that was Cecilia.
Ooh, we have another drive-through penalty to Walter Wedgworth for contact on lap 21. So
Oh dear.
that must have been for him spinning Mark Behrens around. Yeah,
Oh
so yeah, so the stewards, Mark will be cheered up a little bit, but he seems to be ahead of Walter on track right now. So has Walter already served the penalty, or is he why has that just been a result? Of
I
the
don't
pit stop
think he
phase?
served the penalty because he would be a lot further back if he served the penalty.
He's
already.
18 seconds behind Mark, so I'm not sure exactly how that has come about, because he's obviously been fighting, showing that banner for the lead, but Molman I think is the last guy who hasn't pit yet, so I think Molman could seriously lose out to Ricky Wilson here. He's hanging the back end out there. I mean, great stuff just to watch these guys they seem to have set the cars up on full oversteer this weekend. It's really impressive to watch.
We're back
That
with
car control.
Holzman right now, and despite coming out a lap later, he's already started to make inroads. At the timing line, the gap was 0.5 of a second. So, yes, it's gone up now. However, he is constantly closing bit by bit, and so I think we still have a race. I think we still have a race on our hands for first and second, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, of course, but you got to wonder. I mean, it'd be really good to see, and as we see Walter Wedgworth serving the penalty now in 9th place, is that going to drop him behind Diego Jimenez? I suspect it will. Yeah, and Douglas Hawkins, of course. Actually, Jimenez making his stop, so yeah, actually Walter doesn't lose out. Yeah, is that Walter just coming out now in between them? Or no, just ahead of them. I think.
No,
That's
he's just
there's a
come
back
out
marker
now.
just ahead of them. Yeah, sorry. As you see, yeah, this is a Molman. Something's happening. Molman's just coming in. Yeah, I thought he crashed out for a second there because he's losing positions out pitting. But yeah, this is all important. Is Molman going to re-emerge in 5th place? I suspect Ricky Wilson.
Wedgworth has just got disqualified.
Ooh, oh dear. And that's really bad news for Walter Wedgworth, and not what we like to see at all. But hopefully, it could be. Did he serve his penalty incorrectly somehow? Was he stuck on track? It could be all manner of things, I guess, for why Wedgworth has been disqualified. But
Wilson
either
has
way,
got past Molman coming out of
just
the
as I
pits.
suspected. Yes, and
yes,
it
turns
got
out
by
that the
about 5
undercut,
seconds as well. So
yeah, it turns out that the undercut was the better
it's a powerful
option.
undercut here, and I don't think Molman's spare energy is going to be much use to him if he's too far back to use it. And yeah, this is Wedgworth being disqualified, I think. So here we go. He comes out of the pits, and suddenly he's disqualified. Did he cross the white line or something? This seems a bit harsh.
Did he release the limiter before he was supposed to?
Could have.
Which
it's hard to say. The footage doesn't really tell us a lot. But anyway, either way, Holtzman still. We cut back to Holtzman. I think he's still challenging Benito for the lead of the race, and Benito still got a little bit of breathing space. But Holtzman, you can't shake Holtzman no matter what he does. But yeah, back to Walter Wedgworth. Just whatever the reason, it could be that he just could be that he fell foul of the rules. Could just be a glitch. But with whatever the reason for his disqualification, it's very sad for the American, I think. And at least he served the penalties. That's not going to carry over into the next into London. which would be disastrous because it's so hard to overtake there. And yeah, 18 laps left to go then. So the top 5 at the moment is Enzo Benito, Patrick Holtzman, Daniel Kiss, Jesus Cecilia, and Ricky Wilson. And
those would be the 5 going. That would be the 5
you
going
would think
through
so.
to the final at the moment in time. Currently, there's a 6-second gap between Wilson and Moleman. So that pit stop really was crucial between Wilson and Moleman.
Yes, I sort of feel Moleman made a mistake staying out so long. It's sort of undone his chances.
Sort of a bit like what happened with Sam Bird back in Hong Kong in the real life race.
There was a safety car there, of course, as we see Dougie Hawkins making is that his second or third stop?
Either way, he came in once. He's definitely come in once, James Gazi, and he had a penalty at one point. But
that's true, yes. So, I believe.
Would this be another penalty? I haven't seen him.
If he stops, it's to repair damage.
So,
but it looks. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
He has stopped.
I think maybe he may have suspension damage then, because it doesn't. All the wings are still on, so maybe something inside that car that we can't see. But anyway, I hope that Dougie Hawkins can finish the race.
But here is our leader at the moment, Enzo Benito,
has Benito pulled out a little bit?
Yeah, he has pulled out a bit, and it sort of stayed around about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. So Enzo Benito has been under huge pressure in this race, and he's managed it really well, I have to say.
Indeed.
Yeah. So how much? Yeah, we have about 16 laps left, I think. So, including this one. So I just hope that Enzo doesn't get held up by this back marker. Is this? Not sure who it is, but it's definitely holding him up, and he's in an identical car as well, so double the confusion. I think Enzo knows who he is, so he should be all right. As Mark Behrens makes another stop now, so has Mark come to grief somewhere? Oh dear, that gives Lorenzo. Oh, that's sort of a bit of breathing space for Lorenzo. Lorenzo now 20 seconds behind Lucas Moleman, so after the incident, he hasn't had the quickest pit stop, and I think Lorenzo's chances of getting in challenging, even for 6th place, have sort of evaporated a bit through some a little bit of bad luck, but also not the, perhaps maybe he could have given himself a bit more. It's a sort of racing incident. I think we can't really judge too harshly on the drivers he was involved with or himself. But
hang on, is that the back marker, or is that?
It is the back marker moving alongside, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, because otherwise.
That's a difficulty with identical cars that aren't doing more or less.
It'd be nice if they used the helmet colours, because the helmet colours at the moment seem to just be the same colour as the car. And it would be lovely if we could have a bit of helmet variation, maybe. But maybe it's not an. I'm not really sure. I haven't played R Factor in a while. Maybe it's not an option. But anyway, Enzo really soaking up the pressure well, and sort of all he needs to do is just keep doing what he's doing, and he'll get that surefire place in the final. And should be lining up right alongside Graham Carroll. We cut back to Daniel Kiss in 3rd, 9 seconds behind Patrick Holtzman, and not really looking like he is going to make much of an impact. I think he's just quite happy though to.
I think he'd settle for 3rd though, because
especially after missing out in Paris, he knows that just a solid little, round about the top 10 result in this one will sort of help maybe edge him back into contention for getting to the Visa Vegas eRace. So. Paris and Vegas. Yeah, how can I get those mixed up? Paris gambling capital.
They both have small Statue of Liberties.
Oh, they both have Eiffel Towers as well, I think.
Well, one of them's quite big, and the one in Vegas is quite small. But close enough.
Anyway,
and one's full of French people, and one's full of rich people / Americans.
French people can be rich too,
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why we're talking about this. Let's talk about the race anyway. So
we're not exactly Jack and Dario.
No, we're trying so hard to be, and we're failing so hard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm failing. I think you're doing all right, Jack. But
no, you're not doing that bad.
You've got the name right. You got the name right.
Oh yeah.
I just need to perfect the Scottish accent a bit, and we can replicate them entirely. So I feel a bit more like Martin Haven right now. So anyway, not really a whole lot going on right now. It
Yeah,
looks like the gaps
no,
are spreading out. The closest
the
gap is
smallest
still the
gap
battle
is
for the
still
lead.
first and second, which is
And
now
that's at
extended to
3 seconds
2.5
Yeah, 2.5
seconds,
seconds.
which is incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is the closest one. The only one that's staying within 10 seconds, apart from that one, is the gap between Kiss and Cecilia, which is currently around about 6. However, there's not really that much close action now since
Yes, I wonder if
Mollman pitted about 5 laps after Wilson. That was the big battle between Wilson, Mollman, and Lucidi, who's back up in 7th place now.
yes, but I do
That
wonder,
was the big
25
battle right
seconds
now.
down on Molman, I wonder if Lucidi and Behrens, Hawkins, him and F, and maybe even Main, whether they've taken damage at some point, because their pace hasn't
Very
really...
possibly. However, Lucidi's only been in the pits once,
Yes,
whereas Mollman's been in...
well, that's kind
Hang
of what
on.
he's had to do, because...
No, I'm looking at the wrong column on the timing screen.
Yeah, oh,
Ignore that!
We'll get the hang of it eventually, Jack, don't worry. Yeah, so 11 laps left to go. And Benito just managing now. So he's let Holtzman close a few temps on him now, but Benito looking like he had a shaky grip earlier on just before the pit stops, but he's now reasserted control. And yeah, this is really good for him. Definitely really good for Team Redline as well to get one of their drivers in, especially this early on, sort of, you know, in that prime position to challenge in the final. And,
Indeed.
especially given that we saw from Lorenzo, he did have the pace to overtake, but he just couldn't use it. In the end, it was Ricky Wilson who did the undercut and did the smart thing, I think, which is interesting. I think it definitely shows that Ricky Wilson has improved as a driver as this series has gone on. And yeah, it actually sets a personal best first sector, I think, or is that just a better first sector?
I believe that's his personal best.
Yeah, this is Lorenzo. He's
Not
missing a front wing
best.
now.
Ah,
So
okay.
interesting that he is staying out, but Mark Behrens is a close friend of ours, and well, they're both close friends,
Mark
I guess.
Behrens is 50 seconds back right now, so
Yeah,
which
chances
is
are that
effectively
Marcus...
a lap. That's a lap. So he's probably just come out the hairpin now.
I did suspect Lorenzo was holding damage, and I was right. It turns out.
Yeah.
But
he seems to be holding the gap rather well, about 25
yeah, all
seconds.
things considering. But yeah, it's just...
I don't
it's
think
worth
even
Lorenzo
Jeff
just
was doing that.
10 laps to go. It's worth Lorenzo just plugging away at it, because if he just keeps going, even though his pace might not be the best, maybe people ahead will drop out and suffer, you know, cruel misfortune late on, and Lorenzo will be there to capitalize. If he pits, maybe he won't be. Of course, he probably could pit and get away, but it depends. So 10 laps to go, it's not really worth it though. And we've seen it before. People on technical circuits like this, and on Paris, it's not quite so easy. But on Long Beach, where there's a lot more straights, and I guess it being hard to overtake also helps. But you can, in these Formula E tracks, get away with running without your front wing, but it's not recommended. As you see, Mark Behrens twitching at the rear a bit. So Mark, it looks like, has a repaired car. I don't think the gap is huge, to be honest. I think Mark just needs to settle for 8th at the moment, and that might still help him. But I think Mark having... No, this is just... Oh, Lorenzo is coming in now.
Lorenzo has come in to change his front.
To which I say, why didn't you do it earlier, Lorenzo? Or unless the wing is literally just fallen off when we cut to him. But
yeah.
Yeah, it can sort of go two ways, the wing thing, I think. Well, it can come off and come on and it comes off. But all I meant to say, obviously, was that we're staying out with a broken wing. It can either pay off handsomely, especially if you're a backmarker desperately trying to make it into that into the top 5, or it can really backfire if you stay out too long. You have to do marginal moves to get by. I remember Peter Broadjack, who's a very quick driver in Paris, staying out without his front wing, and it ended up being very bad for him. This was Diego Jimenez letting another... That's Mollman. No, Holtzman rather. I think he's letting through there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
and very tentative.
I can't really see Benito at all. So how far ahead is Benito?
He's just under 3 seconds ahead, I think.
Yeah, he's 3 seconds ahead. Lucidi came back out, and now he stayed in 7th place. However, the gap's about 10 seconds between him and Behrens. We haven't got an update
that could be
on the gap between.
F.V.Addict's personal duel incoming, I
Yeah.
guess. That could be interesting, but it's just a shame that they're not. Them and Molman aren't able to challenge Ricky. Ricky Wilson pulled out a 15-second gap to Molman now, so yeah, Molman.
Wow,
only,
yes, yeah.
Molman only really had a chance when he was able to hold up Ricky Wilson, I think. And,
So
it's a bit of a shame for him because he did drive incredibly well defensively, but it's just his overall pace wasn't really enough to sustain that position.
Indeed,
but anyway,
it's looking like at the moment that we have got our top five more or less sealed. Whichever order it is, we don't know, right? There's still a battle on for first and second, and Cecilia is closing in on Kiss for third. However,
that's a good point actually. I've not noticed that battle developing, but it
yeah,
definitely seems like the lead.
It was 6 seconds a few laps ago. It's now down to 4.2.
Yeah, it could be that Kiss has lost out in traffic here. I think. Yeah, he's dropped to 14 seconds behind Holtzman. So
yeah.
Yeah, and top 4 are the last guys on the lead lap. So I think even Ricky Wilson, 39 seconds behind Cecilia, has fallen victim of being lapped.
Yeah.
I think he may be being lapped just now actually. But, by Benito and Holtzman. But 6 laps left to go. Then like you say, I can't see too many position changes.
Yeah.
Cecilia losing all of the road and a little bit more if he can. But he's running out of it, and just able to get away with that one there. But it's good to see Cecilia pushing here, even though he's almost assured of a qualifying spot. I also love that baby blue livery. We don't see enough drivers using it. So I know Mohammed Patel, I think, likes to use it as well, but yeah, it seems to be a bit random, the car skin choices. There's only a couple of drivers I've noticed who are consistent across different finals.
I think they should actually use like the proper Formula E liveries.
Well, like I said, that's the plan in the for the Visa Vegas eRace. Yeah, that's the
for the proper race. I would have thought
this is proper because it's the qualifying, but yeah, the grand final, the one that everyone wants to win.
Yeah, but I would have. To be honest, I did sort of hope that I'd see like Benito in the apt car, let's say, and like Cecilia in the E dams or something like that. But they'd be on like equal cars. But
they are still equal, Jack. I know what you mean, obviously, because you expect the dams to be way faster than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think that's modeled into the sim.
I think
because they all have 5 gears, of course.
Yeah.
Unlike in real life, where the E-dams I think doesn't have any gears because it's sort of.
I thought E-dams they definitely had a stick shift.
They have 1 gear. Yeah. Oh, as we see Douglas Hawkins retiring from the race as he crashed out.
Okay.
But he's crashed out from 8th or 9th. I think that's
there isn't a
9th
safety
place
car in this, is there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because there'd be no point, to be honest, and the races are long enough as they are. I've also, just because you do it to clear up debris, you don't, well, you sort of need to sometimes, but they just retire and the debris goes away, I guess. But it's kind of a thing you get while they have it in real life, and sort of it's nice to sort of realism, but here I sort of personally feel it's not really. But people may disagree with me on that, and it's understandable. But it would definitely make it more interesting, yeah. But it would. I think I had a few extra 10 minutes to the race, probably waiting for everyone to line up, especially some of the back markers that are several laps down. I hope they don't do the F1 thing where everyone's allowed to unlap themselves.
Yeah.
Even though I think they're allowed to go up a lap at least. But Diego Jimenez coming into the pits now, so I wonder if he's in trouble too. Looks like Jonathan May might be the only one who's got a clean car and might be able to take advantage of trouble up ahead of him. I think he'll definitely get by Hawkins, as we see Mark Behrens has got past Lorenzo. Oh, and very dramatic. Something happening there. I wish we could see it, but now Lorenzo 1 second, 2 seconds nearly behind Mark Behrens. So I think Lorenzo may have suffered sustained damage to the car. Yeah, and Diego Jimenez actually dropping behind Jonathan Main. So Jonathan Main really profiting from that. Is this Douglas Hawkins?
Oh,
there's that Lorenzo. No, this is Lorenzo and Mark Behrens, both wingless.
Front wingless. Yeah.
Yes. So I guess that says a lot about how they're often
There's one of those polystyrene boards in the middle of the track. I just saw.
Okay. But this polystyrene, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It might get in like the intake, but it's not going to overheat the engine because there's a battery.
Yeah.
So it should be fine. And is this Benito being challenged by Holtzman again? Yes, he's doing
Yeah,
half
it's
a second.
0.5
yes, the
of a
traffic is
second.
really getting bad at the moment.
All the gaps are starting to close up because the gap between
this
Holtzman and Kiss is now 10 seconds. The gap to Cilia has opened up a bit. However, the majority of them are opening.
You said you wanted a safety car, Jack. Looks like.
Yeah.
Being a safety car, except they might be able
Safety car deployed.
Yeah, let's see how much Benito is going to try and back up Holtzman.
They come across the line. It's 0.3 of a second.
This is the last lap as well. So.
Wow, it's going to be do or die for Patrick to try and win his home race.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to take himself out on the last lap, Jack.
Yeah.
So I think Holtzman will get close, but I don't think he's going to try a do or die move here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to let's get close enough and sort of say, yeah, let's do this again in the final, Enzo. But I bet Enzo's scared right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can see the rear ring angle. You can see him closing and closing, but he's running out of track to do it. I think Enzo is going to win this one.
Enzo's sliding all over the place.
His tires
coming out of all the corners. Will this give Patrick an advantage coming up to there? I don't think it's going to be close enough.
Enzo can afford to crash over the line and keep it. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very close. However, pole position, fast lap, and the race win for Enzo Benito.
Yes,
he takes victory in
Berlin.
The second semi-final. Yeah. Patrick Holtzman just 6/10 behind.
4/10 on my screen. Well, that's just after the
hang
line.
on. Oh no, three. Hang on. It's just alternating as they come over the line.
Kiss in third.
Kiss in third. Silly in fourth, and Wilson is fifth. They are the top 5 that will go through to the final tomorrow.
Yes, and missing out, Lucas Mollman, 12 seconds down behind Ricky Wilson in 6th. Mollman looking so good earlier, made such a brilliant start. And now he's on the reserves bench, unfortunately, for the final. Mark Behrens in 7th, doing well, I think, to pass Lorenzo despite his issues and being spun around by Walter Wedgeworth, of course, who Lorenzo really had a chance maybe to get by Mollman as well, but just undone by Ricky Wilson, and maybe he should have let Ricky Wilson go and he would have lost a bit less time and a bit less places. Jonathan Main doing well, I think, to finish as well in 9th, despite not really having the pace and being a couple of laps down. Really did a solid job there. Diego Jimenez another lap down in 10th, but again he still finished. He'll still get points.
Yeah, and then
Douglas Hawkins though will not get any points.
Two non-finishers.
Yeah, not sure.
Well, one non-finisher and one disqualified. Well, I still don't completely understand why Wedgeworth has been disqualified.
It could be that his car is just allergic to like coming out of the pit lane or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That made no sense whatsoever. I regret saying that. I sound like a toddler. But anyway, that's the results of our second semi-final, and lots of action early on, I think. And but Benito is going to and Holtzman are going to be big challenges in the final tomorrow. But anyway, semi-final 3 is the next up, and that I believe is in. I can't remember exactly when I believe it's in a couple of. I believe it's at 4. Don't quote me on that. I need to get the screen out so I can actually remember when it is. I've got terrible memory. So I'll just quickly look that up on the schedule. Yes, the third group is at 5 actually, not 4. 5 GMT. So it was only an hour out. But...
So 2 minutes time.
Oh yeah. So.
Okay.
I guess join us soon, or
join us
maybe.
literally after the break.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was semi-final 2 of Car Sport Road to Vegas, powered by Full Moon, sponsored by Playseat. We'll see you for the third semi-final in just a bit. Take care, guys.